Josh Frydenberg has refused to concede the seat of Kooyong in Melbourne's east, saying it's still mathematically possible to win with the counting of postal votes. The Teal independent Monique Ryan has, however, celebrated her victory as she and other independents take over Liberal strongholds in Victoria.
Fronting the media for the last time as Treasurer.
Politics is a tough business. Sometimes you're dealing with victories and other times defeat.
A loss Josh Frydenberg is not yet willing to concede.
I've received a lot of support here locally. It does look obviously mathematically possible, but clearly difficult.
16,000 postal votes are still to be counted in Kooyong. He's hoping he'll secure a majority enough to carry him over the line to retain the seat. But the celebrations have already started at Camp Ryan. The first candidate, an independent, to unseat a sitting Liberal MP in the electorate in 73 years.
It hasn't sunk in.
The Treasurer had hoped to win his electorate on the success of the pandemic.
The last 3 years as Treasurer have been particularly rewarding, but also particularly challenging.
A sentiment rejected by his opponent.
I thought the Morrison government had 3 jobs during the pandemic, which were vaccination, quarantine and aged care. And I felt that they let us down with all 3 of those.
The momentum of strong, mature women dominating as Teal independents has likely attracted a new audience of female voters. In key seats which were typical Liberal strongholds, they've rattled the coalition with their success.
Well, we need to get more women into Parliament, and that's not only a priority for the coalition, I'm sure it's a priority for the other major parties, because what you saw in this election was also the Labor Party's vote drop quite substantially.
The Liberal Party in particular does have a problem with its female representation. And it's not for me to tell them what they need to do, but I think they're going to have to look at lots of aspects of how they've functioned in the last few years.
That rhetoric also familiar in Goldstein, a blue ribbon seat turned Teal.
I also think that there's a strong female vote, and I think that's a backlash against the Morrison government in regard to lip service that's been paid to gender equality.
On Sunday, Liberal MP Tim Wilson formally conceded Goldstein to independent candidate Zoe Daniel. It was an emotional end to his career.
To give my thanks to my husband Ryan. When we started on this journey, firstly, I couldn't call you that, but more critically, you've been there and sacrificed so much for my service to the nation.
And while Monique Ryan prepares to settle into her new role in Canberra, it seems only a temporary departure from the capital for the Prime Minister hopeful.
It's a defining principle, it's a defining motivation for me. It's why I entered politics and why there is still some gas in this tank.
Jessica Maggio, Sky News, Melbourne.